Ladies and gentlemen of the so-called free world, I stand before you not as a politician, not as a corporate spokesperson, not as a diplomat spinning half-truths behind smiles and neckties. I speak to you today as a fellow human being who has stared into the abyss of modern civilization and chosen not to look away. Let me begin with an uncomfortable truth. We are not progressing. We are decaying intellectually, morally, environmentally, economically, and spiritually. The glossy headlines, the tech-fueled distractions, the neatly packaged lies we consume through our screens every day, they are not signs of evolution. They are symptoms of a civilization that has traded wisdom for convenience, truth for comfort, and freedom for control. This speech isn't for the faint-hearted. It's for those who are willing to face what's really going on, to admit that our modern world, for all its noise and speed, is sleepwalking into catastrophe. Let's start with politics, the circus tent of democracy. We were told that democracy would empower the people, that voting meant control, that our leaders represent us. But tell me, who do our leaders really serve? Is it the public who struggles paycheck to paycheck, or the billion-dollar donors, the lobbyists, the corporate leviathans who whisper behind closed doors? Elections have become reality TV. Candidates are brands. Policies are marketing pitches. The moment they take office, campaign promises evaporate like morning mist. It's not incompetence, it's design. Democracy has been hijacked, replaced with a cold, ruthless algorithm of power and profit. We live in a world where unelected corporate boards have more influence than entire nations. CEOs can crash economies, fund coups, and manipulate public opinion with a few well-placed dollars. The free market? It's a rigged casino where the house always wins. They socialize the losses, privatize the gains, and you and I are left holding the bag. And what of war? The war machine never sleeps. It's fed by fear, fueled by lies, and disguised as freedom. We bomb countries in the name of peace. We send drones to weddings and call it collateral damage. We manufacture enemies, then sell weapons to both sides. War isn't about liberation. It's about profits. Every missile fired is a payday. Every child orphaned is a market opportunity for rebuilding contracts. Look deeper. The same politicians who vote for war own stocks in weapons companies. The same media outlets that stoke fear of foreign threats are owned by the same conglomerates that profit from conflict. This is not a theory. This is fact, documented and visible for anyone who bothers to look. The media, the so-called Fourth Estate, is no better. Once a pillar of accountability, it has become a corporate mouthpiece. Objective journalism has been sacrificed at the altar of advertising revenue, clickbait, and political tribalism. Outlets tailor their facts to fit their audience's biases. Truth has become relative, and in that vacuum, propaganda thrives. Ask yourself, why is it that 10 companies control nearly all global media? Why do the headlines all sound the same? Because we're not being informed, we're being managed, fed narratives, conditioned, sedated. They distract us with scandals, celebrities, and sports, while the real decisions are made behind closed doors. Then there is the environment, the slow suicide of our species. Climate change isn't coming. It's here. Oceans are rising. Forests are burning. Species are vanishing at a pace not seen since the dinosaurs died out. Yet our response? Greenwashing, empty pledges, billionaires flying private jets to climate summits to give speeches about reducing emissions. We are governed by arsonists pretending to be firefighters. They drill, frack, deforest, and pollute, then slap a carbon-neutral label on the destruction. Meanwhile, indigenous communities who have protected the earth for millennia are displaced, criminalized, and ignored. Why? Because there's no profit in sustainability, only in perpetual consumption. And yet somehow, the blame is placed on you, the individual. Recycle more, eat less meat, use paper straws. While 100 corporations are responsible for over 70% of emissions, this is the greatest gaslighting operation in history. You didn't destroy the planet. They did. But the most sinister development of our time may be the digital prison we've built around ourselves. We call it convenience. We call it innovation. But what we've really created is a surveillance state more powerful than Orwell imagined. Every click, every message, every location ping is tracked, stored, monetized. You don't own your data. You are the data. Artificial intelligence is learning you, predicting your thoughts, shaping your desires, automating your behavior. Social media platforms, designed to connect us, are now the architects of division, addiction, and mass psychosis. They don't just sell ads, they sell influence. Elections can be swayed, protests crushed, minds molded, all without a single bullet fired. And the kicker? We gave it to them willingly. We put listening devices in our homes, cameras on our streets, trackers in our pockets, and called it progress. We traded privacy for novelty, autonomy for likes, humanity for convenience. Culturally, we are no better. We are a society obsessed with image, drowning in narcissism, addicted to validation. We reward shallowness, mock depth, and elevate mediocrity to celebrity. The algorithm doesn't care about truth, only engagement. Outrage sells. Complexity dies in the scroll. Our heroes are influencers. Our conversations are hashtags. Our attention spans non-existent. We are no longer thinkers. We are reactors, swiping, scrolling, reposting, never stopping to ask why. This isn't a glitch, it's a feature. Because critical thinking is dangerous in a system built on compliance. Let us now talk about the holy grail of modern civilization, the economy. We are told the economy is doing well when the stock market is up, when GDP grows, when billionaires launch rockets into the void. But ask yourself, if the economy is booming, why are so many people still struggling? Why can't millions afford rent, food, or health care? Why do entire generations work harder than their parents, yet have less to show for it? Because the economy isn't real, not in the way they say it is. It's a lie wrapped in jargon, propped up by financial alchemy, and sold to you as hope. Today's economy doesn't reward value. It rewards speculation. It doesn't reward innovation. It rewards monopolization. It doesn't reward labor. It exploits it. We've created a system where billionaires grow their wealth by doing nothing by owning assets. Meanwhile, essential workers, teachers, nurses, and builders are barely scraping by. Productivity is up. Wages are not. Why? Because the system was never designed to lift everyone, only to elevate a few. And these few, these oligarchs, these titans of capital, they own the world. Not metaphorically, literally. They own the land, the patents, the data, the platforms, the algorithms, and increasingly, the politicians. When someone becomes rich enough to buy governments, you don't have capitalism anymore. You have neo-feudalism with Wi-Fi. Look at how wealth flows upward, always. Crises become opportunities. During a pandemic, while millions lost jobs, a handful of billionaires increased their net worth by hundreds of billions. This is not a byproduct. This is the design. What about crypto? The so-called democratization of finance. Another illusion. A decentralized dream hijacked by centralized greed. Most of the wealth in crypto is held by a small handful of wallets. It's the same pyramid, just wrapped in code and hype. And while we argue about left versus right, red versus blue, they laugh because division is profitable. Rage keeps us distracted. Fear keeps us compliant. Meanwhile, the wealth gap widens, and with it, democracy dies. Do you believe your opinions are your own? Let's talk about consent. Not the legal kind, the psychological kind, the manipulation of thought, the invisible hand guiding what we believe is true, good, and normal. Every day we're bombarded with information, curated, filtered, algorithmically optimized. But don't mistake information for truth. Truth is dangerous to those in power. Narrative is safer. And so, our world runs on narratives. That the West is always the good guy. That capitalism is freedom. That consumption equals happiness. That your neighbor is your enemy if they vote differently. That everything can be fixed by an app. The media is no longer a watchdog, it is a lapdog. Controlled by a handful of megacorporations, it delivers propaganda in digestible doses. Fox and MSNBC are not opposites, they are two sides of the same coin. Keep the people angry at each other, not at the system. Think about the language they use. When the government spends on social programs, it's welfare. When it spends on war, it's defense. When the poor steal, it's a crime. When the rich do it, it's deregulation. Language is a weapon, and it's being used against you. Social media has turned every citizen into both a product and a cop. You are policed by your peers. One wrong word, one unpopular opinion, and you're canceled, shamed, or doxxed. That's not justice, that's cultural authoritarianism. Meanwhile, the real criminals, the war profiteers, the environmental destroyers, the tax evaders walk free, sponsor award shows, and fund charities for PR points. They don't need censorship by the state anymore. They've trained us to censor ourselves. Welcome to the self-policed dystopia. You've probably heard that artificial intelligence will change everything. That's true, but not in the way they want you to believe. Yes, AI can write essays, paint images, compose music, but it also can track your movements, predict your behavior, replace your job, and influence your vote. What we've built is not a neutral tool, it's a mirror of our values, and sometimes our darkest ones. Surveillance capitalism is no longer science fiction, it's the business model. Every click, search, and swipe builds a digital clone of you, one that advertisers, governments, and intelligence agencies use to predict and manipulate you. AI won't just make decisions for you. It will increasingly make decisions about you, whether you qualify for a loan, get a job, or even deserve freedom. Facial recognition, predictive policing, emotion detection, all tools of control masquerading as efficiency. And here's the most chilling part. You can't opt out. Try living without a smartphone. Try applying for a job without LinkedIn. Try finding an apartment without digital credit history. Try crossing borders without biometric scans. Every aspect of life is being wired into the grid. This isn't liberation. It's digital servitude. And yet we cheer it on. We call it innovation. We teach our children to code so they can join the machine, not question it. We reward startups that extract more data, more attention, more compliance, not those that foster wisdom, empathy, or reflection. What we are losing is not just privacy, it's our humanity. Attention spans are collapsing. Empathy is fading. We scroll past suffering. We filter reality. We no longer see each other just avatars, opinions, and profile pictures. Real connection is dying, and in its place, we have likes without love, fame without respect, knowledge without understanding. And still we press forward, because the machine is hungry. It needs more data, more users, more control. Until one day, it won't need us at all. Now comes the most controversial part because it doesn't end with doom. It ends with a choice. You've heard the litany of failures. Political theater, economic manipulation, environmental destruction, technological tyranny, cultural decay. So what now? Do we curl up and accept it? Do we resign ourselves to being cogs in a machine we didn't build? No, because the system only works when you play along. The greatest lie they ever told you is that you are powerless. You're not. You still have the ability to say no, to withdraw your consent, to unplug, to defy, to imagine something better. That is your rebellion, not just protesting, but rejecting the values of a dying empire. Understand this. Collapse isn't a maybe, it's a when. All empires fall, all corrupt systems rot. The question isn't whether this one will fall, it's whether we will evolve before it does. Because what replaces it is up to us. Do we let the same oligarchs build a new technocratic prison? Or do we build communities that heal? Do we turn to nationalism, tribalism, AI overlords? Or do we rediscover meaning, purpose, human connection? This speech is not a call to arms. It is a call to awakening, to step outside the illusions, to stop mistaking consumption for joy, distraction for truth, and comfort for freedom. You want a real revolution? Turn off the algorithm. Question everything you were taught. Teach your children how to think, not what to think. Refuse to dehumanize those you disagree with. Grow food, read books, talk face to face. Protect what matters not because it's trending, but because it's sacred. Understand, you are not alone in your disillusionment. The world is waking up slowly, chaotically, beautifully. There are millions who feel it. That ache in the soul that says, this isn't how it was meant to be. They're not crazy, they're awake. And the more of us who wake up, the faster the illusions fall. They want you tired. They want you divided. They want you scrolling, spending, fearing, obeying. So be the opposite. Be awake. Be dangerous. Be alive. Because in the end, the system cannot save you. But each other? Maybe we still can.